All right. I think I got it set. What's up, guys? You know who it is. Marcus J. Jackson with another Go Live for you. Okay. This is a Live Life series, Live Life number 6. Suicide awareness, stop the bullying. Once again, suicide awareness, stop the bullying. All right. This hour is dedicated to those who are struggling with suicide, with thoughts of suicide. I make myself available from 12 a.m. to about 1 o'clock or so on video, right on here, so we can chat and talk, and you can comment, say whatever it is that you need to say. And I also, you can call me at 469-626-7486 after the video, and I'll be available until 2 o'clock. So the National Suicide Prevention number is 800-273-TALK. Again, that's 800-273-8255. Okay? Again, that's 800-273-8255. It's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Okay? Okay, so I had a buddy that I was in the Army with. He decided to transition himself, and there's been a great deal of veterans who have transitioned themselves as well. So I want to give a big shout out to all my veterans. Stay in there, fellas, ladies. You have a purpose. You are here for a reason. You are not just a number. All right, you're not just another person. You're not expendable or anything like that. Okay, so please hang in there. Reach out, get some help. It's okay to get therapy. It's fine. Don't feel any kind of way. Don't feel like you're weak or anything like that because you're trying to. You need help. If you need help, it's available. There's resources available to help you through the situations that you're going through. All right. So feel free to take advantage of those resources. All right. What else? Make sure I do all my shout out to everybody that chimed in last night. I thank you for your comments. I thank you for supporting with your attention. I really, really appreciate it. I'm very thankful for that. If you need assistance if you need further assistance and you want to find out more information about, fitness, business, nutrition tips and things like that, you can follow my YouTube channel at Marcus J. Jackson. Marcus J. Jackson is my YouTube channel. I'm giving my email address and everything. You can also reach me on my. You can email me if you don't want to talk. You can email me at marcusjjackson@hotmail.com. Okay. Also, I'm going to be putting a link, a Cash App link in the comment, and it's going to support I Speak Foxy. It's an organization founded by my wife, Foxy Jackson, and she is the founder of the organization. And it is, hey, what's going on, Roderick? Good to see you, man. Good to see you in the mix there. Let me get my camera. Hold on. I got my YouTube going, guys. Give me just 1 second. Looks like my camera is. All right, there we go. Okay. All right. So I'll be putting the Cash App in the comments, and feel free to donate The organization is, again, I Speak Foxy. And it caters to women who have experienced sexual, well, not just women, men and women who have experienced sexual abuse and violence. Okay. So she does a lot of community outreach. She provides a lot of items for the shelter that that she pays for on her own dime. Okay, and she gives her time on her own dime. I do as well. So please, if you are able to, donate. If you can. It's not, of course, if you feel led to do so. All right. What else? Yeah, man, Drake, what's going on, man? We're gonna have to hook up and get some breakfast or something, bro. Shout out to James Bernard Richardson. He just chimed in. If you need immediate assistance and you feel like you want to transition yourself this very minute and you cannot wait, please call the Suicide Prevention Hotline. That's what they're for. It's 1-800-273-8255. This video is dedicated to those to raise suicide awareness and suicide prevention. All right. So if you feel like you cannot hold out, if you can't, you need immediate assistance. All right. You need to reach out to the Suicide Prevention Hotline. Get off this live. Go straight to your phone and call and get help. Okay. If you need a listening ear, if you need someone to talk to, you can chime in right here during the comments. You can inbox me as well. If you call me during the day, please remember that I am a realtor and I'm probably on the phone. I'm also a certified life coach. I also do some ministry work as well. And if I don't answer the phone, I'm probably on the phone with somebody. Okay. Probably on the phone with a client. And if you leave me a message, I'll call you back. Or if you text me, I'll text you back as soon as I possibly can. Okay, guys. So I think that's about it for the intro. Yep, I think that's it for the intro. Will you, Foxy, will you put the Cash App in my comments, please? When you get a chance. Thank you so much. So let's see. Anyway, I think that's it for the intro. That's all I had. And today, the suicidal this Live Life is going to be focused on bullying. Okay, there is a large number of bullying that goes on in the school system, and there's a large number of children who commit suicide. They take themselves out because they're being bullied at school. All right, and this morning, today, it's about midday, I guess, a little bit before 12 o'clock. A buddy of mine from Tennessee called and said, he said, man, I know you're doing I see you at night doing the go live on suicide prevention. He said, will you talk to these people about their children bullying kids in school? And I said, wow, because his daughter, they started school about 2 weeks ago in Tennessee, in one of the school districts out there. And some kid in the particular school that they go to, they just transitioned from uniforms back to just regular clothes, and they can wear. Hello, Miss Jackson. They just transitioned to wearing back to regular clothes. So I mean, they haven't even been in school 2 weeks and they're already picking on children about their clothes. So one of my good friend's daughter, she came home talking about the other girls and the other people were talking about the clothes that she wears. And I was like, what? And and he's a really, really calm, really, really mellow dude. And, it takes a lot to get him riled up. And he was riled up. People don't play about their kids. So I totally get it. I understand. So what I would invite you to do as parents, listen. Let me fix this real quick. Listen to what I'm going to talk about. Listen to the tips that I'm going to give you to help you, with this, to build a bond with your children. To have that, not so much as build a bond with your children, but to have that talk with your children. Like you really have to have that talk with them, because things are, we don't send our children to school to get bullied. And it's just not something, it's something that as parents, we have the ability to affect change. And I feel very, very strong about that. I totally get it. You can't go, you can't be with your child 24/7. I know it's the teacher's job. It's everybody else's fault except us as the parents, right? It's the teacher's supposed to do something and the principal's supposed to do something and all these other people, but it starts with us. Because if you really think about it, a child that's bullying other children, 9 times out of 10, that child is being mistreated somehow at home. Either, 3, in my experience, it's been 3 major things that a child is going through at home to cause him to bully other children. All right. And I'm a certified youth leadership mentor and coach. And I know for a fact that there's a lack of attention, for one, right? They're not getting the attention that they need at home. So they lash out at school through, stealing things and, causing a disturbance in the classroom and, bullying other children, taking that aggression out on other children. So that's, like I said, as parents, that's something that we have the ability to affect change. And I would encourage you to have that talk with your child about bullying at school, whether the child is the bully or the child is being bullied. Have that talk. All right. Number 2, the child's being bullied and somehow at home. Either the parents are kicking the kid around, kicking the child around at home, or the big brothers and the older siblings are probably kicking the child around at home. So that's why he goes to school and picks on children that are probably smaller than he is, or he feels like are inferior to him. So I just, we'll talk about that. And number 3, a major thing, a trend, not a trend, but something that I saw was the child may be homeless, right? The child may be living, from one couch to the next, staying over a friend's house for a few weeks and then staying over another friend's house for a few weeks. And, he doesn't have anyone, right? So in order to have shelter, he may bully a child or do something to a teacher or to get himself arrested or put into juvenile for, a certain amount of time. So just so he can eat, have food, and a place to stay that's either warm or cool. That's just that. That's, hey, this is America. This is what we live in. These situations are, they happen. They're not abnormal. So just so you know, it's a lot that goes out there, that goes on out there. So Parents, I would invite you to establish a relationship with the teachers, establish a relationship with the adults, all right? And, you know, if you can volunteer, the more they can see your face at the school, the least likely your child is to be bullied, all right? So I know everybody doesn't have time to do that. I know everybody isn't able to take off and spend a day, you know, hanging out at the school. You know, everybody's not able to do that. So there was a time where I wasn't able to do that. But that is something that I myself need to start doing as well. I need to spend more time at the school. So I'm not exempt from this at all. But I just really felt strong about that because, you know, I know that's my friend. I know his daughter. She's not, you know, somebody that that bothers people at all. I mean, she's a very mature young lady, and I'm proud of the way she handled it, because she went and told the teacher. The teacher intervened, and she, you know, it could have gotten very, very bad, you know, but the teacher intervened, and the administrator gave them a call and kind of, you know, let them know what was going on. They got into a slight altercation. It was a little push and shoving, but nothing major happened. So, you know, I'm very thankful for that. But as I began to research and look up statistics, and I'll actually pull them up for you. If let me go back on my computer. Oh well. Okay, I'll get them set up for you here in just a moment. I'll get those stats for you. Texas has one of the largest suicide rates. I think we're like 40 something in the nation, but like the number 2 leading cause of death in Texas is suicide. I remember reading that on one of these statistics. I'm going to put the link in there in the comments so you can see what I'm talking about. I was like, what? This particular link is from September of 2017, and I was amazed at the amount of you know, people that decided to transition themselves. It's like, wow. But that link in the description, take a look at it, and you know, it'll let you know. I put it in the description, so take a look at it when you get time, and it'll let you know. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like every 3 hours, somebody is literally committing suicide, and that is, I mean, just think about it. Like, that's 8 people in a 24-hour period, you know, that are, you know, deciding to transition themselves. I mean, if we keep at that rate, if we keep doing that, I mean, that's just on the, I don't know, like that's on a national scale. Man, that's a lot of people. Golly, that's a lot of people, man. But there is a great deal of children who are, you could just Google children who have committed suicide due to bullying. Just look up suicide and bullying. And there's a lot of stories that you'll find. If you research it, you'll find a lot of stories where children have committed suicide because they were bullied at school. One story that I read, a child was bullied on the internet. You know, they were giving her a hard time on the internet, and she took herself out. There is a group, I know here in one of the school districts here. It was they were having a game of, you know, committing suicide together, and you know, my son went to one of those schools, And, I won't say the school's name because, I don't know, they might try to do something, whatever. But anyway, I just felt really, I don't know, taken aback by, at such a young age, you're ready to check out, and there's so much more that you have to learn while you're here on this planet, and you inhabited this body for a reason. You incarnated to experience the life as a human. So why not? Why not go ahead and learn as much as you can? Because if you don't learn everything you need to learn the first time, you're going to have to come back again. So, that's just one of those things that, hey, if that's something that you are into, something you want to do, by all means, hey, do it. And it's not, it's not anything wrong with you. Just to, piggyback off of that, it's not anything wrong with you because you have thoughts of suicide. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not abnormal. Every person on the face of this planet has thought about suicide at one point in time in their life. Maybe it was because of a bad situation. And when you make the comment sarcastically saying, I'm better off dead, you are also thinking about committing suicide. Okay. So that's just what it is. You can take it or leave it, deal with it or leave it alone. All right. What else? So let's go into, first, I want you to, before we get deep into the lesson, this is a very, very informal platform. You might see me get up and go get some water, especially if my throat gets a little dry from talking. But are you laughing at me? Oh, so anyway, very informal. So feel free to ask questions, and if I can answer them during this, during this time, I sure will. Take a sip of my tea right quick. All right. Okay. So let's take some deep breaths. Let's ground ourselves really quick. All right. Just to bring your presence back to your body. Just be present in the body. Take another deep breath. Okay, last one. Imagine your feet reaching down to the center of the earth, the core of the earth, and wrapping your feet around it. All right. Whew. Okay. Got a little wake up there. So make sure if you're able to donate to I Speak Foxy. It's a organization that focuses on dealing women who have survived or who have been victim to sexual violence and abuse. So they focus on reaching out to women that are in shelters. They focused on women who are if it's an acute situation, they are in the emergency room, or if they need help. She donates toiletries, things of that nature. And she also does community outreach in a lot of these events that she participates in. She pays for out of her own pocket. So if you are able to donate to I Speak Foxy, please donate. And, a portion of that money will go to help those women who have experienced sexual assault and violence. All right, so let's jump into some tips. All right, because now that first of all, let's go back. Now, if a child is bullying a child, this is, if you don't know how to talk to your children, or you don't know what to say per se, this is what I would invite you to say. As a child, they have no control over the clothes that they wear. A child who is under the age of 14 or 16 and below, they do not have the ability to work. They can't get a fucking job, so they cannot buy their own clothes. A child can only wear what their parents can afford. They don't have, so it's a moot point to laugh and poke fun and joke about a child's clothes. It makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, so it would behoove you as a child or as a parent to reach out to that child and talk to that child and let them know, once again, that a child wears clothes that her parents can afford. Okay, so making fun of them because they don't wear Jordans, or they're not wearing the latest name brand clothing or designer clothing is ridiculous. Okay, that's you. School it's not a fashion show. School is a place where you go and learn. You are learning. You're learning how to build relationships. You're learning how to conduct yourself away from home and away from parents. So going to school to poke fun at someone is a waste of your time. All right? It's literally a waste of time. And on top of that, whoever is responsible for you is going to have to come to the school if you continue to carry on like this, right? They're going to have to come to the school, and you're going to waste their time. And if they work a full-time job, then that means they're going to have to take some time off of their job to see about you causing problems at the school. All right. So I would invite you to have that talk with your child and let them know that, there's something that you're not going to tolerate, for one. And you surely don't want your child's actions to cause another child to take his own life. Right. That's just not something that you want. This generation has changed a little bit. Children are affected a great deal. They're a little more sensitive than what they used to be. A little more sensitive to how we grew up. When I grew up, you handled your own problems. You handled bullies by confronting them and taking that. You either take a L, or you earn the respect of whoever the bully was, or you whoop the bully's ass, and everybody lived happily ever after. So, but it's a little different now. Children are, not as aggressive as they used to be. So, I would, I would just, you have to have that conversation with your child. You must have that conversation with your child in order to affect change and to change, these outcomes that we're having by children taking themselves out because they're getting picked on at school. All right. What else? So when I made my go live earlier, somebody inboxed me. I won't say a name because I didn't ask them if I could use the question, but so yeah, I'm not gonna say the name. But anyway, they asked, what if your child doesn't listen to you? All right. And I get it. I trust me. I totally understand. I'm not blind. I'm not oblivious to the fact that there are, I'm in the Walmart or the mall, and I see a child just blatantly disrespecting his parents, mom or dad, I see it. So I'm not blind. I know there are children out there that don't even listen to their fucking parents. So I get it. But if you are one of those parents, you need to reach out to someone in your family or a friend of the family and have them talk to that child. If you care about this child or you value his life, you love this child in any way, shape, form, or fashion, please reach out to him. Okay? They themselves could be suffering a great deal and have suicidal thoughts as well. Okay? So have someone reach out to him that he, respects, or someone he will listen to, because it's somebody in the circle, somebody somewhere, whether it be a teacher, whether it be a coach, somebody who has influence in his life that he or she will listen to. All right, and get them the help that they need. Have that they need a listening ear, or they need something to help them, because you don't want to get that phone call, that your son or daughter has transitioned themselves. It's not a good situation to be in. You don't want to, and vice versa. You don't want your son's name to be linked to a child that decided to transition themselves, and your son or daughter was the reason. Okay, so I say this with love, please. I am passionate about this, but I say it with love. All right, I say it with love. So now, that I've beat you up a little bit, let me go into tips and ways to handle a situation like that. Okay, so parents, this is if you're just tuning in, this is the Live Life series number 6, and okay, cool. Live Life number 6, and it's focused on suicide awareness, and parents stop the bullying. All right, and the reason why I named it Parents Stop the Bullying, because as parents this is something that we have the ability to affect change. All right, if not immediately, we can get it rectified in a very, very fast manner. All right, so let me get into the tips. I wonder where I get this. Whatchamacallit? Bullying. No more. All right. Okay, let me give you a couple tips. A couple of things here. Bullying is any deliberate. This is definition. Bullying is any deliberate, hostile, physical, psychological, or verbal activity involving an imbalance of power with the intent to harm and induce fear. All right. So bullying isn't just physical. It could be mental abuse, and it could be verbal abuse. All right. Remember that. Okay. Explain. Have Google some tips on bullying, and you can find this information out. And you can help your child understand, because they may be, sometimes you just have an aggressive child and they don't even know that they're bullying. And a lot of times you can talk to them and let them know. And if together you identify the problem, you can rectify the situation. All right. Something to think about. Bullying seeks to emotionally harass or physically harm others, even to the extent of damaging property and destroying pets, in order to cause debilitating fear and distress. All right. A child should not have to go to school in fear. A teacher should not have to go to school in fear. All right. It's a place where you're learning. That is your gateway to fundamental knowledge. Your gateway to fundamental history in order to function in the United States. All right. So don't, like I said, have this talk with them, guys. Let your child watch this video. You know, if you're watching a video and you haven't let them watch it just yet, I do cuss. So if they have sensitive ears and they've never heard a curse word in their life, you might not want them to watch this video. All right. But you still, nevertheless, you still need to have that conversation with him. All right. Or her. Bullying is persistent, pervasive abuse that creates an intimidating or terrorizing environment. All right. Bullying is not a one-time act, but rather repeated, persistent harassment by a person or group, often targeting someone perceived to be weaker physically or psychologically. Okay, so, and this is another thing that you sometimes run into if your child is quiet, right? And a lot of times, I've coached children who are quiet, and they get bothered by other children at school because they don't say anything, right? So because you don't say anything, people think they can pick with you or they can bother you, and you're not going to do anything because you don't talk. So it's just children have that misconception about other children, right? But when you say something to the wrong child that's being quiet, and then, you know, he gets up and he smacks one of those would-be individuals that are bothering him, you know, there's a great surprise, right? And nobody wants their child to go to school and get hurt. You know, nobody wants that phone call. So, you know, make sure you have this talk with your children. I will have this talk with your children if you cannot find time or the words to say. I will gladly talk to your child about bullying. Okay, I don't have a problem with it at all. And you can reach me at 469-626-7486. You can email me at marcusjjackson@hotmail.com. Right, and if you're just tuning in, you just clicked play on this video. Please be aware that this is a suicide prevention and awareness video. And if you are dealing with and you need immediate assistance, you need to call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 800-273-8255. If it's a medical emergency, you need to dial 911. All right. So anyway, let me continue on. Bullying does not stop without intervention, but it must stop. All right. So this particular program. Oh, okay. This is actually a book from Hope for the Heart, right? And they use the acronym STOP. So it's severe, intensely harsh, stern, and critical. Threatening, intentionally fear-producing, and terrorizing. O is out of balance, imbalance of power, ill-matched, and unequal strength. And P is for persistent, insistent, continual, not a one-time act. All right. So that's kind of like a little overview of, you know, definitions of bullying and how to identify it per se. And actually, I might, this is pretty good. So, which is another resource that I Speak Foxy provides. They have a lot of pamphlets, a lot of material that she passes out, a lot of resource material as well. Anyway, make a point to interact with your child. All right, that's going to be number one. And when I say interact with your child, make a point to talk to your child. Either way, you know, if they're being bullied or if the child is doing the bullying and it's your child, make a point to interact with this child on a daily basis, or have someone interact with them that you trust, that they trust, and have a mutual respect for. And by interacting, like actually talking to the child, because sometimes, right, I have parents and they will talk they say they talk to the child, and I say, well, what did you talk about? And they say, oh, well, I asked them, I said hi, I spoke to them, good morning, and asked them, or good afternoon, or whatever. I said, hey, how you doing? How was school, or whatever. They tell them about school. Say, oh, okay, and they carry on. I mean, actually have a dialogue, right? Have some effective communication with your child, because although you are communicating, right, you're not communicating effectively. Okay, so that means you're going to actually have to talk to the child, and they're going to have to listen to you, right? And then the child is going to have to talk, and you're going to have to actually listen to the child to find out the root, or get to the root of the problem. All right. So I would invite you to maybe set aside some time every day to, to just have a conversation with the child, find out what's going on at school. Because I know school here in Texas, I know it's starting here for us this coming Monday. So, oh, you know what? I need to fix that too. Post. Oops. School. 1, 2, 3. Okay, save. Awesome. All right, cool. Yeah, make sure it's a actual conversation, a very, very valuable conversation, a valid conversation. So you can find out, so you can know what's going on a day-to-day basis. That's what you want to focus on. Like how are they interacting with children on a day-to-day basis? All right, that's what you want to know, and you can identify, through the conversation as you're listening, what if there's anybody that gives them a hard time, or that way you can take a more proactive approach. You can go to the school, and sometimes, like I said earlier, showing your face is good, right? Because you don't want to, it's back to school. And parents, you can stop the bullying. All right. I mean, you can stop the bullying. And it doesn't require you going up to the school and beating up any of the children or nothing like that. Just your presence at the school, and your presence, talking to the teacher, you picking the child up, and so on and so forth is important. Having lunch with the child when you're able to. That's important, and that will, and parents, you kind of know if your child is, your child better than anybody else, and when it sounds like something your child might do, right, or might not do, So if the teacher is reaching out to you, and the administration is reaching out to you, by all means, try to take advantage of that situation and take a proactive approach to rectifying the situation with your children. Okay. So like I was saying, set aside, if you're having trouble doing that, please set aside some time. If you can't be there in person, call them on the phone and talk to them. There's, and there's also therapy. There's also therapy. Some children have been through traumatic situations, which causes them to act out. They could be abused. They could be suffering from abuse themselves, and they need help. So, they have tons of free resources that cater to children. So go to the school, or call the school and reach out to the counselor. All right, the counselor is an excellent resource to help you pinpoint that that help that you need, both the parents as well as the children. Okay. Let me see. What else? Go to my notes here. Child. As parents. Okay. So and again, and another number two, right? Number one is communicating with the child. Number two, remember that it's not against the law to spank a child. Okay. It is not against the law to spank a child. So by law, you are responsible for the child. I mean, either way. So if it turns into a situation where the child ends up going into the custody of law enforcement, you're going to have to spend money to deal with that, either taking off work, or you're going to be fined and have to go to court, and you're still going to have to come out of pocket, or someone's going to discipline them, and you're not going to like how that happens, right? You don't necessarily want someone to discipline your child. You want to discipline your child. So now, not only is someone disciplining your child, you're having to pay for someone to discipline your child, because on that side of it, once it gets into the law enforcement's hands, that's when you start, the parents start coming out of pocket, right? And not only are you paying money to the court system, you're also missing money because you have to take off of work as well. So you're getting double tapped. And I know it's hard for some of us, but you're going to have to break down and discipline that child. And like I said, it's not against the law to spank a child. It is not against the law to spank a child. And I've told that to people, when I was in law enforcement, and, law enforcement officials have told me that as well. Because it is, sometimes that's required, that's required. And that's the only thing that they can, that they respond to. You have to get physical. Some children, you have to get physical with them, because that's the only thing that they respond to. And it, unfortunately, nobody wants to, beat up on a child, but hey, sometimes you got to handle things with a little bit of force, right? And my mom used to always say, a hard head make a soft ass. So at some point, they will get the picture. If you keep spanking that ass all the time, when they get out of line, they will finally understand that mom or dad means business, and they're not going for that type of behavior. All right. So number one, communication. Number two, it's okay to spank a child. All right. What else? There is also, you have outlets like the YMCA and Boys and Girls Club. They have outlets like that, like after school programs, because a lot of these incidents happen after school. The physical confrontations happen after school. There's like a window of when the child has, in no matter what school you go to, it doesn't matter how awesome the school is or any of that. There's a window of opportunity of once the school is let out, because the children, the teacher can't see every single thing, and they can't watch every single child. It's only one teacher, per classroom or whatever. And even if they're all out there while they're waiting on the bus or wherever, they still can't see everything, right? So is that window, as soon as the bell rings, until the child goes out into the car or out into the bus or walks home, it's that window of opportunity that, these incidents happen, and they take place, and the child can possibly get hurt and things of that nature. And that's not something you want. So make sure you have some kind of after school program set for the child to do, because a lot of times the child just could be bored, and doesn't, doesn't have anything to do or nothing to look forward to, right? So one of the major things that my parents used to hang over my head is me playing football. I mean, I loved playing football. I love playing sports in general, but football was it. If as long as I can play football, I will, whatever you want me to do, I will do. Because I wanted to play football, so I didn't have a problem, doing, what I was told. And not that they had to have football to hang over my head, but anyway, that's just one of the tools that I use. So if sports isn't it, take away them electronics, take away that cell phone, take away those things that that are near and dear to them. All right. And I feel like that's a major playing card that the parents can keep in the deck when a child is falling out of line, and you need to get them back in a timely manner. So you take sports away from them, they will fall in line. Trust me, they will fall in line, or they will be so frustrated that they won't have a choice. They won't have a choice. They will force themselves, or the team or the coach will force them to do what they're supposed to do. Okay. So those are the 3 tips, parents can do. And for the children, this is what I would invite you to do. When you go to the school, I know, you want to have fun, and you want to, meet other children and talk and have fun and meet your best friend and sit down and have lunch with your best friend and all this great and wonderful stuff as a child. But here's the thing that I would like you to do different, right? Instead of forming these relationships with, the relationships with children are going to happen regardless. But as a child, build a relationship with a teacher, okay? A lot of times, if a teacher can intervene early, right, they can stop the bullying as well. So I'm not going to put the whole entire blame on the parents, all right? If the child has done their job by telling the teacher what's going on, fine. That's what they're supposed to do. Tell the teacher what's going on. And if you as a child, as a student, have built a relationship with that teacher, then that teacher is going to pay a little bit more attention to you, right? That teacher's going to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I know Marcus. He's a pretty cool student. I noticed that he didn't speak to me today. Maybe I'll go see how Marcus is at lunchtime. I'll ask him how he's doing, right? So at lunchtime, when this would-be bully would bother you, the teacher comes over and asks you how you're doing. You see what I'm saying? And just because and how you do that is when you go in and speak to the teacher. I ask them how they're doing. Hey, Miss So-and-so, how you doing today? Oh, great. All right, fine. Good. She'll probably ask you how you're doing, right? You fine, great, fine, all that good stuff. So, and a lot of people will say, well, my child doesn't go to school to kiss the teacher ass, all that kind of shit. But that's not what it's for, right? You're teaching your child how to build a relationship, right? That's what you're doing. Okay. So if you look at it as something negative, then of course you're going to get a negative response. But, that's what the child's going to school anyway, right? He's in the school system anyway. So after, they're trained by the school, they're going to go out and do the same thing, try to build relationships to get jobs, try to network to get jobs. Because remember, it's all about who you know, not what you know, right? This is America. Okay? This is America. Don't eat all my chicken up. All right? So anyway, what else? But actually, conversation, listening. Okay, yes. So build a relationship with the teacher. build a relationship with the principal, right? Build a relationship with the maintenance man or maintenance woman. Build a relationship with the coach, and speak to them. That's how you build a relationship. Speak to them. Let them know your face, And if you're a child that genuinely cares, hey, speak to them anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just think there's a lot of things that you can do to prevent these things, but you just, you don't know. But now that you know, there's different things that you can do to be proactive against bullying and things of that nature. Okay. What else? I need to touch bases on anything else. Make sure I'm covering anything. Let me check the chat. See if we got anybody going. Back to school. Parents, stop the bullying. Foxy shared Saniqua White in the comments, and Lakeisha Tolbert are professional therapists. Okay. And I think I mentioned that earlier, but I'm going to touch on it some more. There are therapists that cater to children. They're certified to talk to children as well. Keep in mind that a lot of the places that you go, if it's a child, they may give you some form of a discount, or not a discount, but there may be a lower rate to deal with them. Like I said, reach out to the counselor and pinpoint those resources. Maybe there'd be some kind of insurance or grant or something that they can give when they reach out to therapists like Miss Saniqua White and Miss Lakeisha Tolbert inside the comment there. So a therapist is another, that's another strategy that you can use as well. It's kind of like having the sports, they're looking forward to something to do. They look forward to actually going to the therapist because that may be their only outlet where somebody actually has one-on-one time with them. I've noticed that with children who go to therapy on a regular basis. If they go to therapy on a regular basis, they are excited because they have an appointment. They have somewhere to be. So they're looking forward to doing that. So a lot of times, a child will conduct themselves in a manner in which, they're looking forward to something. So their mind is focused on that as opposed to, misbehaving in class and stuff like that. Okay. So keep that in mind. What else? All right. It is 1:00 and you have lasted this hour, right? And live life, right? Suicide prevention and awareness. Okay. I'm glad you stayed with us this entire time. I hope you received some value from this. And I hope some of this information has helped you in making your decision to stay with us as opposed to transitioning. You can always, reach out to me on Facebook. You can always reach out to me at marcusjjackson@hotmail.com, right? If you need one-on-one services, okay, marcusandfoxy.com, all right? We are certified life coaches, relationship coaches. All right, that relationship coaching meaning intimate relationships as well as family relationship as well. All right, so we can help. All right, so please don't hesitate to reach out if you need some assistance. You have my contact number. 469-626-7486. You can reach out to me and talk to me at any time. I am available from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. and during the day. If you give me a call and I don't answer, leave me a message and I will call you back. All right. What else? If you know of anyone who is looking to do some what am I thinking? Volunteer work, right? You want to volunteer at the at any of the community events that I Speak Foxy holds. Please feel free to reach out to Foxy Jackson in the comments. You can inbox her. If you feel led to donate, please donate to I Speak Foxy. She reaches out to reaches out to her organization focuses on women who have been sexually abused, who have suffered sexual violence. She does a lot of community outreach that she pays for out of her own pocket. So it would be awesome to have any donations. And I Speak Foxy, the Cash App is there in the comments. You can do that as well. What else? What else? All right. I'm going to hold on for a while just in case anybody wants to chime in and have any questions or comments. Maybe post. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let my YouTube people go. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all take it easy and try not to do too much. Peace. All right.